we have to discuss the fake letter. So there was a fake letter, guys. This is really unnerving. Mailed from the Correctional Institute. And it was sent to Larry Nassar. Nassar is the guy, he was the guy abusing gymnasts. And then it like returned to sender. I think a lot of things get called into question here, but let's read the letter first. It says, "Dear LN, as you know by now, I've taken the short route home. Good luck. We shared one thing, our love and caring for young ladies and the hope they'd reach their full potential. Our president also shares our love of young, nubile girls. When a young beauty walked by, he loved to grab, snatch. Whereas we ended up snatching grub in the mess halls of the system. Life is unfair. Yours, J. Epstein." Now, this letter is bizarre. So let's just unpack that for a minute. Because first off is the way it was written. You guys know what exposition is, guys? Exposition is the part of the movie where they tell you some things about the story that you have to know. Now, a good movie puts the exposition in there in little throwaway bits. Somebody makes an offhanded comment, and over the course of like an hour, you get all these details that fill out the picture. And you're like, wow, I know so much about what's going on. But in a bad movie, somebody comes out and says, yeah, man, her daughter gave her up in a criminal trial where she was charged with 5 counts of assault and battery. And then after she died, somebody broke into her house and they planted this brick in there that is magical. And so now we got to go get the magical brick. And you're like, oh shit, dude, this guy just told you the entire story in like one fucking sentence of poorly scripted text, right? That's what a bad movie does. A bad movie is just so obvious. It's like, here, let me tell you the whole story. And I mean, guys, when I read this letter is like bad exposition. He says, as you know by now, I've taken the short route. So in here, Epstein says, hey man, you already know I committed suicide, and like, oh, but like, you know, we're misunderstood and Trump was an abuser too, and like yada, yada, yada. But like, bro, it just is a very strange letter, you know, the way it's written. So now the DOJ comes out and says the FBI has confirmed this alleged letter from Jeffrey Epstein to Larry Nassar is fake. The fake letter was received by the jail, flagged for the FBI at the time. The FBI made this conclusion based on the following facts. The writing does not appear to match Jeffrey Epstein's. The letter was postmarked 3 days after his death out of Northern Virginia when he was jailed in New York. The return address did not list the jail where Epstein was held, did not include his inmate number, which is required for all outgoing mail. So this thing was like as though it were mailed from the jail. They're saying it was mailed out of Virginia. But here's the problem, is they released this letter, and then 2 hours later, they're like, oh, that letter is fake. And they tweet, oh, hey, man, we figured out this is fake, all these details. But like, why did they release this thing? Why is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, right? You know, I mean, they had 1,000 agents redacting this shit and going through this. Again, what are they doing with this? Did they release it so people would spread it around and they could say, aha, it's fake? They're trying to like they're trying to obfuscate the reality to make people second guess everything that's discovered in these files. I mean, there's no reason for them, if they know it's fake, don't release it, or release it with the acknowledgement that this letter was, here are the details. But they release it, and then hours later, like, you're not telling me you had this letter for years, and then 2 hours after you release it, you solve the case? Like, come on, bro. Think about this. Because what else got released today, guys? The shit about the rape and the baby going overboard on the boat and like all of this stuff that people were figuring out they could unredact. So now the news cycle is dominated sort of by this fake letter, right? Look at this. Every news station was featuring this letter, guys. Okay, every single one. And then they come out and say it's fake. This is a real fucking problem, guys, because this feels like evidence tampering of the highest order. Dude, they are tampering. The way they're releasing it, guys, is like, even the way they're releasing it, they're removing shit and it's inconsistent. They release stuff and then an hour later, they've changed what they've released. Like, everything about it is like squishy. Like, the minute they release something, you have to grab everything the minute or you're not going to get the original release. Every hour, they're like going back and changing shit. They are being sneaky and they're being deceitful in a way that it like creates confusion. Exactly. Deliberate confusion. They're sowing discord. They are intentionally like creating a system of release and redacting and unredacting and changing redacting in order to make the entire effort to track and monitor and report on this nearly impossible. And I'm telling you right now, they're doing this on purpose, guys. Okay? They're doing this on purpose. They are changing them after the fact. And in particular, like some of that stuff we looked at yesterday, it's not even just changing the redaction to where people's names are being redacted or unredacted. They're actually like, they are changing the story. If there's a story about Trump that involves sex, they redact the whole paragraph where she tells you everything Trump did to her, right? They're actually redacting the details of the case. And it's not supposed to work like that. And then some people, the people that are in the public record, like Sarah Kellen and 𝗙ecie_𝗏𝗏 and Virginia Giuffre and all that, they shouldn't be redacted at all, guys. If they're in the public record, the only people being redacted should be survivors that have requested anonymity or who have never come forward publicly. Everybody else should be unredacted. Everybody who has gone on the record and appeared publicly should be unredacted. None of the details of these crimes should be redacted. None of it. Now, you may have noticed Ro Khanna, he announced something today, guys. He announced something big that it could change the tenor of this. And he basically asked for a special counsel. Look at his announcement today. This is huge. Dude, they're breaking so many laws. Right here, it's the inherent contempt proceedings. Okay, this is it. Well, yeah, watch this video, right? This is important, guys.
You talk about the contempt, you talk about the impeachment. I know you and Thomas Massie have been drafting both of those and haven't filed them just yet. I guess what will it take for you to take that step and actually file inherent contempt proceedings or take the step and file articles of impeachment? What would need to happen for that to occur?
Well, we're planning on filing the contempt when we come back. We're going to give them a 30-day grace period to get the documents out to show that this is not punitive. You know, I really don't care about Pam Bondi or Blanche. They're sort of pawns in a political system. I care about the rich and powerful men who showed up on Epstein's rape island and abused these girls. I care about these rich and powerful people who told these survivors, who I've gotten to know, don't call the police. It doesn't matter. They're not going to do anything. I care about justice for people who still are billionaires and have buildings named after them. That's what I care about. And so we're going to give her 30 days. And then the motion will get a $5,000 fine for every day that she does not release these documents. We're also working with the Southern District of New York. We plan to reach out to them to see if they could appoint a special master to evaluate what a reasonable redactions would be, since they ordered the release of these files.
See, that right there, guys, that's the part that I'm talking about, right? Right? Forget the fine, forget the documents. It's the second half of this. It's appointing a special master to look at the redactions, okay? Because here's the deal. We we're not going to just let these documents come out as redacted by Donald Trump. Okay, that the redaction is like, nope, we're not ending there. Okay, because originally we agreed to this law of allowing them to redact the victims, protect the victims, but they've already abused this. Okay, they have already released fake shit, redacted and re-redacted after they release it. They've redacted people they shouldn't redact. They're redacting to change the narrative. They're redacting to try and imply guilt. They're like, the redaction has become another political manipulation tool. Yes, obstruction. So no, what we're going to do is not only are we going to keep fighting for the release of these documents, and we're going to keep creating the political harm that will help win the House, but we're going to appoint somebody who is going to go through and unredact the redactions. And we are going to re-redact these things until like the only thing is redacted, the victims that are not public themselves. And I think that that's really important. And what's more though, guys, I think there is a political power to this, okay? Because again, I'm thinking about the survivors and I'm thinking about justice for them, but I would be a liar, guys, if this wasn't also a political thing for me, okay? I'm honest about that at least, that like, yeah, this is political, okay? The Republican Party is aligned with these evangelical, like Christian Taliban motherfuckers that are trying to assault our human rights. And so, yeah, I want to use this as political weaponry to prevent them from taking me over, of course, right? So, yeah, I want a special master that is unredacting this shit, and I want this shit to be a political issue for years while we sort this out and take away some of the power of people like Trump and these other, like, Christian pedo fucking weirdos. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to have this narrative of like this abuse of power become a central tenet of our politics. And these guys that use Christianity and money to abuse children and women. Like, I feel like this case and the investigation of it can be like the nucleus of the next revolution of wokeness, you know, which is like Me Too 2.0. You know, us too, if you will. So my thing is, Trump definitely made it political with the lying and the hoaxing, but now I think we capitalize on this, right? I think we capitalize on this. And we can't be somebody that's gonna like go soft and try to let the power structure off because they're worried about being partisan, right? We need somebody who's like not afraid to be partisan. Because guys, at this point, if being partisan means going after these Heritage Foundation motherfuckers, then I say be partisan. Because they're partisan all the time, bro. And so fuck it. If they're going to be partisan, we're going to be partisan. Fuck them, bro. Because, dude, I am tired of these fucking Republicans, bro. And this MAGA shit and the Heritage Foundation. I am tired of the fucking Heritage Foundation. I've said this before. And I'm going to say it again. I think the Epstein case is central to more than just the powerful elite. I know it's the powerful elite, but like, guys, I feel like the Epstein case is the nucleus of fascism, because fascism is simply about you don't get consent. They govern you, they control you, and you don't get consent. And you know, taking somebody without consent is SA. It is like rape culture and fascism and patriarchy and like the whole women are just a rib sort of religious indoctrination are all tied together in this one nucleus of like hierarchy that has like powerful rich man like the god up there over everything. And so that's why I think just continuing to like break this Epstein thing apart in every way, shape, and form and to follow every vine off of the tree is going to be like very dismantling to like fascism and patriarchy like as a whole. You know, this is it's no accident that Me Too happened, and this is like intrinsically, tied into like Weinstein being in jail and Epstein being dead, and all of this coming to a head and having this like, bipartisan support now of like trying to rise up on this shit. Cause like rape culture is the center of this stuff, guys. Okay. Rape culture. I'm telling you, rape culture, like, taking power over someone without their consent is the center of oppression in every form. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.